Welcome back, Team Project. This is Mr. Argueta coming to you week number 3 now. So there is a lot to digest this week, a lot that has happened already and a lot to look forward to. So let me start off by saying that the weather, hopefully, guys, is taking a better turn here, and we're going to start seeing some good weather happening here very soon. Yesterday, which was Sunday, it was like cold in the morning. And by like 4 o'clock, I had to take my sweater off, and it was awesome. So I am looking forward to more and more of that. That said, let's talk about what happened last week. Let's talk about what's happening this week, and let's talk about what to expect for next week. So last week, the week we just closed off, in our discussion, we were looking at exploring some business ideas in your environment. So part of that is kind of considering your local market. If you recall from Principles of Management, a business is not a closed system. You cannot just open up a business and expect it to succeed. You have to have all these pieces in place. And some of them were, like you recall, a SWOT analysis is looking at the environment in which the business is in and trying to figure out what that environment is missing, what it needs, what it can survive on. So I am obviously going to take this week to look at that and read through your sort of information and figure out what we, what you guys came up with. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to reading through some of it. I hope you guys did some studies and realize, this is not an existing business, because we know those are successful, but we're looking at more of a exploratory business, an idea of a business. I did read through some of those and commented already. Very, very interesting research. I appreciate those of you who have taken time that do your background research. So I'm excited to see what you guys have. So that being said, we'll look at that for a couple of days here. And then, of course, the big thing was submitting your team project. So I will be reading through some of those concepts or seeing what you guys submitted. Some of you guys have met in person, which was impressive for an online class. You guys have all selected a team leader, I hope. So a lot of small business development groups. We did have one group considering the what do you call this? I'm sorry, the influencer business. So it'll be social media influencer business. So I'm excited to see what you have in store for me. So we got a couple small business, couple influencer, one influencer business. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see what it is. I will be posting your sort of an idea of what other teams have done in the past, so you can kind of get a feel of what to expect. Please know that this is not a class like your previous classes where you could just check in one day a week on Saturday or Sunday night and be okay. This, as spoken about in the beginning, this is a team project. Highly important that you stay connected. And guys, we're already week number 3. So really, we got another 3 to 4 weeks left and it's over. So I know you can give me that effort. I am seeing some of the results. You guys are putting the right effort. You're putting the right time into it. I understand we're all busy. I get it. Trust me, I understand that. So please work with your team. Work with your team, and keep in mind, your team will be grading you. Your team will be saying, hey, everyone did their part. We all contributed to it, and we're all working together. So also be patient, because we're all living random lives, different lives. So I do have high expectations, and you guys are meeting up to that. No team, how would I word this properly? All the teams, I should say, all the teams have submitted their assigned projects. So excited, because that's the sign of a first issue. That said, let's look at this week. So this week, in week number 3, we turn our focus into research. And I gave you sort of an outline on what to do for your assignment this week. And it's just your basic research outline. It's sort of the roadmap that you need to take in regards to bringing your part of the project to the team. This is sort of what you put in mind, what to expect, what you need to do, sort of an easy roadmap to follow if you've been assigned a certain part of the project. So it shouldn't be too difficult. It shouldn't take you that long. And in our discussion this week, we look at the dynamics from Tupman's model of team dynamics. So team dynamics is very interesting because you will always, in some level, be involved in a team and management, unless you're just managing yourself, which really, I mean, that's not really management technically. But when you're managing other people, you're going to be part of a team. And every team, no matter who you are, no matter where you go, you are going to be confronted with these dynamics. First one, of course, being forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning, of course. So our goal as managers is how do we utilize this concept to better help? Now, there is a podcast I put out there towards the end. It's a 7-minute podcast, really quick for you to hear in your car, wherever you're at, you're running, you're walking, whatever it is, kind of gives it the same summary. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. But that said, a really interesting thing that happens within a team dynamic, which I want you to kind of be alerted about. In a team dynamic, what we're looking for, especially in management, is for a team to become autonomous. So it becomes self-running. But in its process, when it reaches that point of performing, it also becomes self-regulating. So it becomes autonomous where it doesn't need a manager. It doesn't need you to tell me what to do. I don't need to be micromanaged. I know my job, right? And that's in the forming and storming stage. We see that sort of happening. But once you normalize, we start performing, right? When we're performing, we know our job. We know our responsibility. I know what to do. I know what I need to do. I don't need a manager to micromanage me. In that process, we also have what's called a self-autonomous team that's self-regulated, which means that we don't need to treat people as if they're our workers. We can treat them as co-workers, co-inhabitants. We can treat each other with respect and mutual agreement upon we both want an A. We both want to make money. We both want to succeed in this team. So therefore, we're putting our effort into it. And I don't need to check up on you because you're going to do your job. So that's a self-regulated team. It's a self-autonomous team. Everyone's doing their part. They're coming together and putting this beautiful results out. So that's what we want to do in management is we want to create autonomous teams that are self-regulated. When something's not working, the team member will either say, hey guys, I've run into an issue, I need some help, and the team helps. They regulate that, right? Or the opposite. If someone's not pulling their weight, they email them, say, is everything okay? Do you need us to step in? Is there something that I can do to help you? That's a good running team where you don't need a micromanager to tell someone what to do. If we go back into our learning process, we remember what's called the X and Y theories. And the XY theory is really about the type of management and employee, where a Y employee, a Y like the letter Y, does not need someone to micromanage them. They know what they're supposed to do. They're part of the goal, they're part of the process, and they're doing their part. It's simple, self-regulated. The other side is the ex-employee. The ex-employee is one that needs a constant supervision, constant looking after. Someone that if the manager's not there to tell them what to do, they don't do their job properly. We do not want that type of employee. We don't want that type of team member. And part of it is how we manage, how I treat others. If I give you your room and the expectations laid out, then I just walk away and let you do your part of it. So I encourage you guys to keep that in mind as you're going and working as a team. And then what's to expect for next week. So next week, we don't really have a discussion. Now, I also, before I go on to that, I also want to say that some of you didn't do your survey. And your survey is part of last week's grade. So if you see your grade go down, it's probably because you didn't do your survey. And I get a report. I had asked you to send me a screenshot. For those that you did, thank you. I appreciate it. It makes my life easier. But I also compare that to the report that's in the chart. And if your name didn't come out, I can't give you a full credit for last week. So please make sure if you didn't do it, that you go in there into Handshake and complete that survey. That is part of the grade. So that's it. Week 4 is going to be fairly self-autonomous. It's going to be running with your team. All I need for week 4 is for you guys to work with your team leader, and give me an update. It's called the midpoint check-in. Team leaders, you got to submit. Use a shared file, something that everyone's using, so I could see everyone's work in one file. Use a shared file and send me what you got so far. Send me your progress. Send me what's happening. So all I need is for one person to submit that, and the whole team gets a grade for that. Now, if there's an issue, that's where we figure out the issues and we can work through it. So there is no discussion next week. Of course, this week we talked about the discussion already, but next week should be just working with your team. I don't want to overload you with assignments. So week 5, no assignment, just a discussion. Week 6, we have our final thoughts and farewell. So that's it. At week 7, we submit it. So it's going pretty quickly. Now, last thing I want to mention, week 4, next week, will not start on Monday. It gives you an extra week to work because we are on spring break. So for all of those of you who are taking some time off, I encourage you to rest, enjoy it, but you have a whole extra week in this semester to be able to work on your assignments little by little. So technically you have a week in between there to do it, but week 4 will not end until April 13th. So the following week after we return. So just keep that in mind, okay? Other than that, this will be the last video before I go to Italy and Switzerland. So you'll probably will see that I'm interacting with you up till about Saturday. So if you have any questions for me, please do it before Saturday, because then as much as I care, as much as you're in my heart, as much as I try to attend to all your needs, I probably will not answer your email the following week because I won't have much access, and to be very honest with you, probably will be eating some good food and not interested in looking at work. So I care about you guys, but that's my time off too. Other than that, that's it. I'm looking forward to what you guys got to offer. Excited to see your presentations. If you need me, you know how to get a hold of me. Team leaders, I appreciate you getting connected with me, being involved, and I will see you. Don't forget to sign up to register for your summer classes. Take care, everyone. See you next time.